Hey guys, Happy Dude here, and here is an update on my Sherman tank. So I've replaced the front LEDs inside the housing of the lights. It was not an easy task because they are glued in, so I had to drill them out, and I've ordered some new LEDs. So the ones that came with the tank are white like this. They didn't had that in the war. It's supposed to be yellow, so these are warm white, just like in the war. And I've put them in the housing, and then I've used very strong epoxy glue. You can glue plastic and metal with this. It is very strong, and it's dry in a few minutes. So I've also put some extra glue on these I don't know how you call it, a protector housing around the light, because if you knock it, it's very easy to knock them off. It's not very strong, but now it is. And I've also glued a German helmet on there. It's sort of like a trophy. You can see it in the movie of Kelly's Heroes and also in movie Fury. So that's taken care of. I've also replaced the rear lights because they're also very weak. There are a lot of small parts on this thing that I have to reattach. I made the holes a tiny bit bigger, so the harness over the light can fit more easily. And now the cable that you see here will not push against the metal, so the cable will not break anymore. Now I can fit in very easy. As you can see, I have a little bit of play, and I'm not going to glue it in here because I did that and it failed. What happens is glue will come onto this wire here. It will become very hard and very brittle, so then the cable just snaps off. What I'm going to do is leave that like that, put the harness, oh shit, I have another one, put the harness over there, and then I'm going to put glue on the light itself, so the harness will attach to that, and also on the 3 points here, here, and here. And I've also added some bags here. Everything is metal on this tank. Here's another bag. Some spare tracks here, also with a bag on top of it. Another bag right here. I also had to re-glue this hatch right here. It's very weak. It's only in place with two very small pins in here, so I've also used the same glue for that. I always use this. It's very strong and very fast to dry, so this won't break off anymore. I've also glued the hatch because normally it turns around, and I hated that. I just wanted it in the correct position. More on that later in the video, how I did that, because it wasn't easy to glue this. It can still open. but it can't turn around anymore. I've also re-glued this shovel right here because it sticks out a bit, so it's also very easy to come loose. And I've added some fuel tanks and a bag here, also a bag and a fuel tank right here, and 2 buckets right here, and some ammo crates, fuel, and a repair toolbox. Alright, the rear lights are now glued in place, so they won't go anywhere anymore. And this time there isn't any glue on the wire. I made sure of that, so it's not stiff now, so it won't break. I've also put some protection on the wire because it's between metal here. Then the wire goes to here. This is the other rear light. I've secured them to the side of the tank. Here they are soldered together, minus minus, positive positive. And then I've soldered them here to this wire for my new Elmo board that will come in the mail any day now. And I've also soldered the motor of the turret to this 8-pin together with the front lights and the front MG. And the secondary MG in the turret right here is on a different circuit, so I can fire them independently of each other. Okay, once the 4 screws are out, you can remove the ring and then the turret will come off. And then just remove these 4 screws right here. And the screws are out. Now we can take a look inside the turret. So I also had to replace the machine gun in the turret because the wiring also came loose. So I ordered a better one. And these cables are a lot thicker and stronger. Also the machine gun is way better detailed. So I replaced the barrel of the main gun. This is the original one. As you can see, this one is a lot smaller. And I wanted a bigger one because the Sherman of Oddball in the movie Kelly's Heroes is longer because he just welded on a extra piece to make it look like a bigger gun.
This gun is an ordinary 76 millimeter, but we add this piece of pipe onto it, and the crowds think like maybe it's a 90 millimeter. We got our own ammunition.
Now, changing the barrel was a much bigger job than I anticipated. Because this barrel right here has a smaller diameter here, so it can slide in. But on this barrel, the diameter was slightly bigger, 0.5 millimeter. So I had to grind that until it could fit in, because we have gun recoil, so it has to slide very smoothly. That was the first challenge. Then the hole that you see here was in a different place, and it's very difficult to make such a small hole on a circle, so I had to make this piece right here, this one. I had to make another one so it could fit, because the barrel also has a different size, and I just made that from a paper clip. Now, to take all this out, if you want to make a change, it's not that hard. This screw right here has to come out, this one also, and then this connection link right here, this is to move the barrel up and down. And I think yeah, that's it. And then once that that piece is completely out, then you have two screws still right here, and then the front piece will come off, and then you can take everything out. And then I also had to replace the LED, because the original one in this barrel is glued in, and once you push it out it breaks or the cable snaps, so there's a new one right in there. And now I'm going to remove this piece just by loosening these 3 screws, because in the future I maybe want to install a smoker for the barrel, so we have to make some room in there, and it is a very small turret. And I loosened it up, the servo right here, because the lid here that you can open, normally it turns around, and I didn't like that, so I removed the metal ring that is on there. Right here there's a metal ring with 3 screws that go in here. Here's the metal ring. I removed that, so when the metal ring is off, the hatch will fall off. Then you can put some glue on the edge and push it in the turret, and once it's dry it won't fall off. And now I'm going to put some glue on here and put that on, so it can never turn around again. I also needed to put some epoxy glue on here and here, because that hatch was constantly falling off. And it was the same problem with these 2 hatches right here. So now I removed the plastic false bottom, so we get as much space as possible, and I just going to keep this plate. We do need that to protect the wires for the gears, and also so grease doesn't splatter all over the electronics. But I need to remove these nuts and bolts and glue this piece right on, because if this is here, and I'm going to move it as much to the front as possible so we have lots of space. I've made this is where the Elmot electronic board will come in, and it just touches this bolt right there, and then it will bump against these springs right here from the tank, and then it will not fit in. We do need every millimeter here. Okay, so the plastic wall is now glued to that 90-degree metal piece, and that piece is attached to the floor with double-sided tape, so I can still remove it if I need to work on the motors. And I made 2 holes for the cables. And I think that's about everything. So now I have to wait for all the electronics, and then I will make a new video. So guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to see more. And you all have a nice day. Bye.